I'm Diana Steele, and I'm here at Fresh Street Market in West Vancouver, and today I'm talking about osteoporosis because November is Osteoporosis Month. And did you know that 1.4 million Canadians have osteoporosis? But the interesting fact is that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men will get osteoporosis in their lifetime. We have a very short period of time to sort of build our bone. It starts right, obviously, when we're born, but our peak bone building years are from age 9 to 18. And after about 18 or 20, for men about 25 years of age, we no longer build bone, and we'll maintain our peak bone mass until about the age of 35. And after that, your bone density starts to decline. So, of course, the higher your bone density is by the time you hit 25, the better in terms of maintaining strong bones for the rest of your life. So if you went through early teens and childhood not actually building your peak bone mass, then you're going to start off lower. And so when you start to lose bone, you're going to lose it faster and get more porous and brittle bones sooner than someone who had a more dense bone. So what are you doing if you're young, or if you have young children? Are you paying attention to the calcium and vitamin D intake in your diet and activity? And if you're older, what are you doing to reduce your risk of osteoporosis and slow the bone loss? Well, there are lots of things you can do, and that's one of the great things. So first of all, have a look at your overall physical activity. Are you doing weight-bearing exercise on a regular basis? So that would be walking, jogging, walking the dog, golfing, not swimming, though. That's not considered weight-bearing. Also, reducing your sodium intake, because that increases calcium losses, and limiting alcohol can also help maintain healthy bones. And then, of course, diet is very important, and in particular, getting enough calcium and vitamin D. So for those young people, ages 9 to 18, they actually need 1,300 milligrams of calcium per day. Age 19 to 50, you're only looking at 1,000 milligrams per day. Now, 1 cup of milk, or a cup of, for example, fortified soy milk like So Good or So Nice, or a fortified almond beverage like Almond Fresh, this one's Almond Fresh unsweetened, they have about 300 milligrams of calcium per cup. And so you would need to get at least 4 servings of this in your day to get all the calcium that you need. So definitely it's recommended for kids to be getting at least 2 servings of milk or milk alternatives, plus getting some yogurt or cheese in their day, aiming for about 3 to 4 servings per day. And then the other foods that you consume that contain calcium, I'll go through those with you so you can see. There are lots. So dark green leafy vegetables like broccoli, I've got some cabbage here, kale, they're all good sources of calcium. Also, canned salmon with the bones. If you actually crush the bones up and use that in your sandwich or in a casserole, the bones have calcium. If you're making a chicken noodle soup or chicken soup, you can put a tablespoon of vinegar in the water when you're cooking your bones, and that will help to leach out some of the calcium and make it more available for consumption. Of course, cheese is a good source of calcium. Almonds also, and sunflower seeds and sesame seeds sesame seeds are a good source of calcium. So you get enough calcium. And we need to make sure that we're getting that every single day, because our bodies do use calcium every day for muscle contraction and metabolism and maintaining normal blood pressure. If you weren't consuming the calcium, your body steals it from your calcium bank, which is your bones. So get your calcium every day. But in order to absorb that calcium and deposit it into your bones, you need vitamin D. And vitamin D does come from, again, those fortified beverages. So your regular cow's milk or a fortified almond milk like Almond Fresh. Also, your fortified, actually these eggs, that you're not actually fortifying them, but you're giving a feed to chickens that has vitamin D in it. And so the yolk has some vitamin D in it. You also get vitamin D in mushrooms. And if the mushrooms are exposed to UV light, so if you were to put it in the sun, for example, you get even more vitamin D in your mushrooms. And then things like yogurts, if they're made with skim milk, they'll have vitamin D in them. And fatty fish, so salmon and herring, they have vitamin D in them. But the food sources there isn't quite enough vitamin D in there. Through the winter months, we're not getting the sunshine to activate the vitamin D in our skin either. So a supplement is actually recommended. For kids, 400 international units, and for adults, between 600 and 1,000 international units every single day from October until April. And if you want it, if you're not a sun worshiper, just carry on and do it all year round. And that vitamin D will help you absorb the calcium and deposit it into your bones so that you improve your overall bone health. And don't forget, reduce the sodium, watch your alcohol consumption, and get that weight-bearing exercise, and you'll improve your bone health.
If you have any questions for Diana, you can contact her at 604-739-3290 or check out her website, eatingforenergy.com. You can also follow Diana on Twitter at eatingforenergy.